So I'm Mischa, I do computers, basically. And I'm here to just talk to you about what we've been up to. So I wanted to name this talk something else. I'll tell you afterwards what I was going to name it. So firstly, a massive thank you to all of you. I think everyone in this room has contributed to this. We have our partners here, we have our staff here, all of you, all the team are just amazing. We have people, ICO contributors, and just friends and family, so thank you all. It's kind of amazing that we're here. And I think I was speaking to someone recently about what we were doing, and they asked, what problems do you have? And I started talking about all these kind of crazy problems which we might have. And they kind of just stopped me halfway through, and they were like, you've got a bloody card, you have a crypto card, and it works. And I think that's pretty fucking cool. And I think sometimes we just lose sight of that. You know, we get worried about what, you know, which, I don't know, CDP we're going to integrate with and how our smart contract's going to do this. But we've got a self-sovereign platform where users retain control of their assets on their phone, and they can spend it, thanks to you guys, in shops at any payment terminal in the world which uses Visa. And I know lots of people outside the business haven't had it, but we've been using this card now for about a month. We're ironing stuff out. We're excited. We'll be telling a little bit more about this soon. And afterwards, grab anyone with a TokenCard t-shirt and they'll buy you a beer with the first non-custodial Visa card. And I think sometimes we just need to kind of take that in. Yeah, we have bloody cards, guys. It's kind of cool. So I kind of went and did a cheeky one. The first transaction which happened on our card, I bought a beer with my 2-year-old. I kind of just ran out and did. I was like working from home that day. I work hard. So I guess that was basically what I want to talk about. I think we built a hell of a lot in a short time, guys. And just like most things, I don't know why, most things are 3, right? So there's 3 things I want to talk about. And I think there's 3 things which this business have underpinned what we've done in this time. And there's been significant work in all 3 of these. Technology, regulatory push, and just participation is something which I think about a lot as well. And I'm just going to kind of run through these kind of quickly. So coming to your question about ZK snarks and privacy, I think it's been a massive, massive uphill battle. People tell you not to pick your battles, not to fight all the battles, and unfortunately we've been fighting all the battles. I think we talked quite a lot about what it means to do decentralized identity, to use zero knowledge proofs and attestations so that we don't have to proliferate KYC data in centralized entities like ourselves. We talked about privacy on-chain. There's lots of battles, and we fought quite a few of them to get where we are. We can't fight all of them all the time. So I think it's important to note, and like without being mean about this, we couldn't have done what we've done without basically Ethereum or anything like Ethereum. I think properties, I mean, you hear about blockchain this, blockchain that a lot. Fundamentally, it wouldn't have been possible to build the platform which we've built without a decentralized world computer which could execute code, which you don't have to trust central entities. And hence, as a result, I can say, I can't fiddle with your money in your wallet. And you don't have to trust me when I say that. You can look at it. And that's kind of cool. I like it when people call it the world computer, the trust machine. Happy to talk about this stuff to no end. I think we should just talk about decentralization a bit. I know I love the word, and I love all of these concepts. I think what brought me here was actually ownership of personal data is what made me start thinking about decentralization. I don't like personal data being proliferated everywhere. I'm a bit of a weirdo in that space. I'm happy to talk about that over a beer. Our company, so no company is truly decentralized. If they tell you they're decentralized, they're basically fobbing you off. We're a company. Where we are decentralized is where it matters. I think we have our relationship with our users and our users' assets is decentralized. We've developed the world's only non-custodial wallet, which can go into a Visa card and let you spend with it, as it stands. And sure, one day, if this looks like a good business, other people will copy. We just have to be ahead of that curve. I think that was an uphill battle, right? Telling people that, yeah, you know, we're going to top up and funds can come from anywhere and it's going to go into a Visa card. Those are long conversations, and you know, it was great work from our compliance team and the guys to show people that we can handle that and we can do this and be good citizens of the world at the same time. I think another thing where we are decentralized again, and this is on the decentralization point, we're focusing on, I think, your question at the back around what makes this mass market. I think Vitalik has talked about this UX of security. And I think taking concepts of smart contracts, trying to push it out and trying to help people have a more safe and better UX around being safe. I think, I don't know, buying a nuclear-proof bunker and sticking your paper wallet in it, you know, okay, great, it's super secure, but the UX isn't great. And it's not very accessible. So I think our users don't have to trust us when we say stuff. And this is some of the bits where we're decentralized. It's the code which dictates this. And that's my address, so you can go look at it. You can also send me ETH if you want. But you know, don't take shit coins, whoever it was at the back. Don't want dust. So just coming back, because I know that Mel always talks about numbers of lines of code. This is including comments. So this, if you sum total it, including comments, so it's a lot less, kind of summarizes the relationship with it's very comment heavy because it's Solidity code. So I reckon probably 1,000, 1,500 lines of actual code is probably the relationship we have with our users' funds. And I think that's kind of cool. We've tested the hell out of it. We've audited it. It's all live. We'll be showing you it running. Quite a few people have seen it run on mainnet and on testnet and been running it. We've been running it now in its entirety on mainnet for a while. It's kind of exciting. But this came with a price, another battle. We had to write, I'm not used to writing 600 unit tests for 1,000 lines of code, you know? It's kind of madness. I'm not used to having external people have to audit my software in a startup. That's madness. We had to write our own test runner, you know, to make our programming experience kind of good. It's all madness. I think one thing to note as well, where we're at, okay, we've done all this stuff. We've got a wallet. There's wallet companies out there, right? There's Ethereum projects who came to life around the same time we did, and you know, they have stuff running. I think that's great. I think the thing to be thinking, in most people's heads might be thinking, you're just no different from other these Ethereum projects which are live. August live, you know. There's things out there which are working. Maker's live. I think what's different from us is we've had to build two companies at the same time. We've basically built a challenger bank and integrated with a program manager and built an app experience and have to do KYC. We've had to speak to the regulators, we've had to appease people, we've had to have extensive anti-money laundering and documentation and processes, as well as building an Ethereum project. And I think it's a lot of work, guys. I don't know, what small business needs to have, you know, all of these requirements? Why do it? No other Ethereum project is kind of doing this stuff. And I guess the reason why there's loads of stuff we have had to build. We've had to build a treasury function, because what happens underneath when you swipe your card and you use your card and top up is we've built a simple exchange, and you know, we've built a bot which we've talked about externally, and we have to reconcile that information. There's a whole bunch of businesses in here which we've had to build to make this experience, and the whole point is trying to make an experience which is easy to go from people holding whatever assets they want to living their life in the real world. I mean, like building a banking grade mobile app with secure enclave and all that. I mean, that's a business in itself. You guys, anyone's looking to build something, you can build an SDK which makes that really simple. You've got a business, right? We built an Ethereum project which has blockchain with a purpose. It's not blockchain for blockchain's sake. And I think we've also built a challenger bank at the same time. And that's no mean feat. I think this has taken a year and a few months. I know people, the crowdfunding event was probably 20 months ago, I don't know, something like that. I think the guys made a decision to move to London to set this business up after kind of being all over the world and having opportunities to set up in loads of different places, thinking that this was a financial hub, thinking that being close to the regulator and being close to this credibility would mean that we can go out and say that we are, or the company is, a credible alternative to consumer banking. I think they've set up shop. You guys have built a team, and it's a pretty young team. I think, not age, I mean, like, in terms of how long people have been here. There's a few people who've been here more than a year. I think 3 or 4 people, so they're all here. You might have met them in the first London meetup, but for other people who've come to the London meetup, I guess the team looks really different, and it's pretty bloody amazing, guys. We've come from, especially the engineering team, there's not that many people who've been here a year yet, and we've achieved quite a lot. The other aspect are the 3 pillars, the 3 donkeys. I just typed in 3 and got a picture of 3 donkeys, and I thought maybe that's rude, and I was like, nah, I'm thinking about this too much. So the other one, regulation, I think, and this is, again, we decided to move to England to be legit. We decided to build a financial player in one of the financial hubs of the world. Do you know how bloody hard it is to get a bank account in this country when you say that you're a crowd-funded entity? I mean, there's people nodding. People just look at you. None of the big UK banks gave us a bank account. It's hard work. I mean, it's just madness, and it's a journey, and we have to pick our battles. We have to educate people. We have to go down a path. It's kind of mad. I think people forget. I think getting into the FCA sandbox, there's other people I met tonight who are in the sandbox as well. The FCA have been pretty good to us. I guess the things which stood out in my mind when I've spoken to them, they said stuff like, so if you guys fall off the face of the earth, nothing happens to your users' funds. That's pretty cool. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool. And they were like, and then, like, if you do something wrong, it won't be messing with stability. We're like, yeah, that's right. And like, oh, that's interesting. And I think we're the first direct-to-consumer crypto company going out under their remit. And if we're not the first, we're one of the first, and maybe the most ambitious. First non-custodial payments platform. And yeah, I had to check whether I can say Visa. I'm actually allowed to show my Visa card. We're not kind of conning you. We'll buy drinks afterwards. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So where we're at now, and again, this is investment, this is time, this is energy, this is thought leadership, is when there is going to be a new regulation, we want to be at the door there. Make sure that this business is protected, make sure that our consumers are protected, and we can build this application which we wanted to do. If you look at, we're speaking to the UK Law Commission, who's looking at what the impact of smart contracts have on consumer protection. We're looking at all these different things. And we hope, I don't know, God knows what's happening with Brexit, but we're doing okay. We're doing okay with Brexit, right, guys? We're doing okay. So there's lots of regulatory hurdles. Again, another battle. And most importantly, we did it whilst maintaining our integrity. And that's what I wanted to talk about a bit just at the end. And I didn't know that you were talking about this as well, so we didn't share notes. We should have shared notes. Decentralization. So I think what kind of blew my mind when I met these guys when they said, hey, we have some crazy idea and you sound pretty crazy, do you want to try and do something? Was this idea of participation, and that's kind of in my head underpinned by TKN. So I'm pretty happy that I didn't have to compromise on the token. Yeah, I think it's kind of cool. I think I'm going to use words which I know are meaningless and are wrong because I'm not financially literate. Yeah. So when I met them and I read the white paper, I was like, wait a minute. If we build this and it's kind of cool, and our people go, hey, use this. This is kind of cool, and like everyone can be a part of that uplift. If we build something kind of amazing, anyone can be a part of that amazing, and that was kind of cool for me. It blew my mind. So for me, making sure these concepts of participation, making sure these concepts of like how do our challenges to a business, so how do we go, and all the people who are not banked right now, how do we let them in the future be able to use a platform like this? They're just stuff. And again, all of this is only possible with Ethereum because of the nature of our relationship between our users and the token and our platform. We can encode their relationship with the token within the smart contracts, which means that we have no control or management of the token, which is kind of interesting. And we'll talk about this over a beer if someone wants to. I think, again, the reason I talk about this is getting to where we are took a lot of time with people, with regulators, with lawyers, with thought leaders. This was energy and effort. And I don't think anything like this exists in the traditional world. And finally, what is there finally? Okay. It's quite wordy. So what we have to do is make products which work outside of the industry. We have to build on top of the ecosystem, and we need to build a community which will be instrumental to this. I think my dream for all of this tech and the product which we're building is for people to not know that there's Ethereum underneath, right? Just to be able to go, oh, and did you know? Like, they can't touch my money. And that's kind of cool. There's another and finally. And I don't like American politics, but this is from an American politician. It makes me happy. And I'm a child of the 1990s, and I like Rage Against the Machine. So if something looks broken, it's your duty to try and fix it. So it's kind of what attracts me as a person. So I think now I'm supposed to show you the thing working, and then to like top some money up, and then all that type of stuff. I think so. Yeah? I need nods from people who know what they're doing. I don't know what I'm doing.
It's through the Apple TV, right?
It is the Apple TV, and I now know how to turn off notifications. I have a child, it's usually about puke or something, messages I get. So I'm just going to talk through the product just a little bit. I can AirPlay, sorry guys. And this is where I need my notes. This is where I need my notes. I do actually know how to use computers. Which one's screen mirroring? There we go, small Dan. At one point we had about 5 Dans in the company, so we named all the rooms Dan. There we go. Okay, so this is my app. I'm going to use my face to log in. So this experience, maybe someone else cares to talk about this. I'm not rich. I'm not rich. This is to pay for the drinks and for everything tonight, yeah? This is not me. So we have a bunch of different tokens in there. I'm a bit annoyed that we lost an icon. There's a gas tank. All of this stuff is within a smart contract wallet. And I'm going to just click on the smart contract wallet and show you now. So you can send and receive like a normal wallet. Blah, blah. It's kind of boring, right? I don't know. I can send something. Who's got a QR code? Not staff. No? Okay. I was going to fling money at you, man. No one wants me to fling money at them. Yeah, you're right. I'll send like a good few TKN. No, I'm sending TKN. You'll be all right. So you just need Ethereum, something Ethereum. I'll come back to that. It works, and I'll do it. Get a QR code, and I'll fling you some. Someone must have a QR code in this room. So we have these security settings, which you've all heard about loads. And then I'm going to go to the transactions screen. So I guess people who have been testing the app wouldn't have seen the card transactions. So yeah, I eat in Pret. Sorry, I have no imagination. It's a veggie Pret at least. And I can do card top-ups, which I'm going to kind of show you as well. We can top up at the moment with ETH and with TKN. So I'm going to show you all of those. So when you perform a top-up, and I'll do one in a second, so you can see the transaction. And that has a 0% license fee because it was a top-up in TKN. We take the market rate, and you can see it on Etherscan. This was a live transaction on real Etherscan. And I think I have these links on my laptop. I should have used my laptop. What happens from your non-custodial wallet is you send a transaction to an address which we own on the chain, which we call the token float. You can go to ENS, TokenCard.eth, and look for crypto float, and you can find the address of it. Once TKN hits that, or ETH hits that, our back-end services, which monitor receival of funds on that address, will then put money in your account. So I'm going to do that now because it takes a few blocks. Mel wants it to go in one block, and I just kind of want to kill him when he says that every time he says it.
Zero confirmation.
So I'm just going to do that now. I have £40. You can't see my card number because that would be stupid. But I guess this is the stuff which the community people haven't seen. So I'm going to do an ETH top up of 0.1 ETH, which is 10 squids. Then I kind of go continue. And then it doesn't let you pick the gas price here because we want the experience to be as good as possible. We kind of confirm. I've signed with my face. That's gone to the secure enclave. And then now it's going to give me a transaction which I can go watch. And that's a pending one. That's why it's in yellow. And we can go to the chain. We can watch. Wow, it flipped around, dude. Look at that. So this is where like a demo doesn't work, but it's going to work because the nature of the blockchains. We're broadcasting now, transaction. I'm going to come back to this in a second. And I guess it has all the other card. We've built all the stuff which we have to do from a card point of view. I think you can report it lost and stolen. You can view the limits which you're spending. Someone else should really demo this. Just buy stuff from Pret. We can freeze your card. I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I guess this is the card. And I think at the door we've been asking people whether they're from the community and whether you have an iPhone. And I think what we're going to do is, if you have test flight installed, you should get a push notification now, because oh, there you go. Look at you. You know what you're doing. Okay, here we go. So my wallet balance went up. So my card balance is going to go up. Hold on. I'm coming. I'm not smoke and mirrors. Yeah. Okay, that should. Waiting's boring. Again, this is all on mainnet and all live. I think the card is what people were interested in. The card top up has happened there. So if I go back to that thing on Etherscan,
7 blocks.
So that's gone through.
So the backend currently waits for 3 blocks before it tops up your card.
There you go.
So no shenanigans.
And then I'm going to go to the card page, and you can see that's the money which has come in at 821. And now this number's gone up to 50. And that's kind of cool. And then I'm done with my presentation. I'm just going to preempt one question. So there is a custodial relationship between your fiat balance and us right now. So as it stands, the fiat balance is held with an issuing bank who holds an e-money license, who's regulated by the UK regulator, and it's that fiat aspect of your topped up amount is currently, there's a custodial there. We're working towards fixing that, and it's a relationship game. I think all of our partners know our intentions. The implementation which we had of the token card, the first implementation which we had when I joined the company as well, worked with the zero balance card. That went through. That went, yay. So all of that stuff is coming.
So that means that the money that is held on the actual card itself, which is in pounds or in euro if you get a euro card, that is obviously held outside of the realm of Ethereum, right? And so the ideal relationship that you have with your card is that you hold all your funds in the form of tokens in your own control in your contract wallets, and then only as you live your life, you every once in a while top up your card with fiat, because it's only that money that is beyond your control, that is like it would be with any other bank.
Guys, so what's important is that e-money is kept in a fully segregated account. There's no fractional reserve on that money at all.
Yeah. I think I'm done. I'll take a few questions, but I'd rather drink beer. Go, hi.
So if I was to top up my token today, am I getting the exchange price of token, or am I getting the burn price of token?
Exchange. So if you top up with a token, what you do is we get a market exchange rate for it.
Yep.
We give,
TKN
yeah, for TKN. We just don't charge you a licensing fee. So if you top up with ETH, 1% of the top up goes into back to TKN. If you top up with TKN, there's no fee.
So you're not burning that and then selling the...
No, we're not doing that. No. Yeah, that just goes through the system and gets put back in the pool of TKN available. But yeah, I mean, we've talked about those ideas. They're interesting. I guess they're not very... The whole like you spend and then it auto burns are quite short-termist. And I think what we're trying to do is build a sustainable business here, taking a long-term view.
As an interesting side note, any TKN you top up with now, we're not actually selling, we're buying it ourselves as a company. So, yeah.
Well, there's nowhere to really sell it right now, but yeah.
Yeah.
Another quick one. So what exchanges are you currently plugged into? Like,
I mean,
those talk about having the best price in multiple exchanges.
Yeah, so I mean, again, without being too sensitive about this and releasing it, we've plugged in, as it stands, to one. We have all of the, especially for the ETH GB pair and the ETH Euro pair, I think the highest liquidity exchanges are, we've either got the account details there or everything's signed up. So we feel pretty confident that the market rates we'll be giving for those pairs, which we currently support, are really good. And then that's just an ongoing BD conversation. The key thing for us, and momentum will come when we show that we can operate and be legit, right? And I'm pretty comfortable with the exchanges which we have. I think they're probably the best, most liquid ones. And there's people around who can talk to you about that stuff.
Does that mean at the moment there's multiple exchanges and you're picking the best price
for the user? I think I should show it actually. So we're very transparent about the costs and we lock in a price. I think we kind of modeled what Revolut does when you do an FX there, where it gives you a ticking time. I'll show that again. Am I screen sharing? No. Yes? No? Yeah, okay. Other questions while I'm doing this? Or we can just go to the pub. I'll be at the bar. So if I go to a top up, and I get my ETH, and I do a 0.2 ETH.
So at the top right, you can see the number. So it fixes in that rate for 30 seconds, essentially. Then if you wait that amount of time, it just updates, but it'll only go up a few cents or down a few cents.
I guess one of the things one of the conversations with the regulator which we had is called treating customers fairly. So we're very upfront about it, the price which we're giving people. I think for us, and this was someone else asked about the business, I guess we've been talking quite a lot internally about how this business is going to sustain itself. When we talk about the centralized and decentralized entity, one thing which we have talked about a lot internally is how do we build a business model which is very upfront with our users. So we don't want to be layering in prices. The alpha, which we're going out with right now, fees is just an exploratory set of fees. We're going to learn what it costs to operate. And I guess if I could wave a magic wand here, I would just have a flat subscription rate so that users know what's going on and then just give best market exchanges to people. I think.
Just to add to that, we put a blog out today which has got the fees for the alpha. So if you go to our blog post, you can find that out.
Good. I'm getting thumbs up from the camera person, yeah. That means go to the bar.